Good morning, beautiful people. This is Marie Alessi with yet another beautiful, meaningful mindset episode because today will be more of a shout out to my incredible, amazing, and most steady influence throughout my whole life, Godfather Ricardo. I doubt that Ricardo will even ever see this, but I want the world to know about him and about the influence he had over all these years and still has in my life now. Um, the most beautiful part is that throughout my own journey, throughout my own spiritual growth and self development journey that I've gone into, I have grown to a level where I now don't feel like I'm so looking up to him anymore. I'm adoring him. I still adore him. I still look up to him, but it's more like an eye to eye sort of conversation. And we both really, really enjoy the space that we hold for each other and what we are able to exchange and to gift to each other. And one of the most beautiful gifts he has given to me over the past couple of weeks, months, because there were so many over the years, is something that I wanted to bring to you, lovely audience, to everyone watching my Meaningful Mindset episodes every week. And that is this very sentence that he said to me. We had this beautiful conversation, and he said, "So, how's life been treating you over the past couple of months?" Because we hadn't spoken for a little while due to different life circumstances. And when we reconnected for like a good 1.5 hour conversation, he asked me that, and I said, it's been a little bit exhausting lately. And those of you who listen to me on a regular basis already know this story. I had end of January, I felt this real deep energetic dip, and it triggered me to dive really deep into my story that I'm telling myself, into my own journey of healing. And it required me to really go back into self-love. Self-love is something that we need to do on a daily basis, that we need to allow in and practice actively on a daily basis. And what I had been doing is I had let it slip without noticing. And then I felt the knock-on effect. I felt it so deeply. It really threw me quite significantly for a while. And I understand that everybody believes in different things. And, my friend who's an astrologer said, yeah, it makes a lot of sense from an astrological background. And then there's the spiritual journey and the human journey that we all go through. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day what your approach is and what you believe in or not, but what I truly believe in is that we need to practice self-love actively. So here is the sentence he said to me, which triggered me to do this very live right now, and that was, exhausting is only the story we tell ourselves. Wow. So when he said, how's life been treating you? And I said, life's been a little bit exhausting lately. This was his answer. Exhausting is only the story we tell ourselves. And instantly it hit home for me. Instantly I knew and I felt how true it all was. And it put such a huge smile on my face in that very moment, because I realized that I had been telling myself that life is exhausting. There were so many things going on in my mind, in my business, in my family, with my boys, and then they had COVID, and then, that was after Flynn had his virus that caused like a 5-day 39-40 fever, and there was so much going on in my life that I started telling myself that life is exhausting. And then, of course, I lived up to that label, and I kept retelling myself, and it created this downward spiral. And he called me on my way up again, because I had done a lot of active self-love practices. So this is the one thing I want you to really take away from this today. Actively practice self-love. Do whatever it takes to fall back in love with you, because the true essence of you is so beautiful and so lovable. And for those of you who might be in a space right now where they don't align with that, they can't allow that in, it doesn't feel right, oh, more than ever now, you need to practice self-love. There's actually a book recommendation that I want to attach to this video, and I will be sharing the link in the comments below. And one gentleman from my mentoring group recommended it to me. Thank you so much, Jason. In case you're watching this, it was a true game changer for me. And the book is called Love Yourself as If Your Life Depends on It by Kamal, and I don't know his surname. It's a bit of a complicated one to remember, but I will post the link in the comments below, so you can just literally click on it and get it for yourself if you want to. It is a beautiful, beautiful story, and also sort of a bit of a workbook. Maybe not workbook, but it's got all the steps in it, what to do to practice self-love, to get back into this routine, to really allow yourself that. And then obviously you can play around with that, make it your own. I want to ask you right now while you're watching this video, just really hand on your heart, what is the story that you are telling yourself about your life right now? Do you love your life? Do you find your life beautiful and lovable and livable and enjoyable and amazing? And do you make the knock-on effect? Do you create that impact in life that you're here to have? Or are you still hiding away a little bit? Or are you drowning in pain? Are you drowning? Are you stuck in grief? We are not supposed to stay there. Grief is not a final destination. I'm going to say that again. Grief is not a final destination. Society has taught us that grief will stay with us forever. I do not believe in that. I treat grief like a visitor. It comes every now and then, and I allow it in, and I sit with it, and I cry with it, and then I bid it farewell and go back to my happy life. You know, this is something that we can create. And I understand for those of you who are really early in the grief journey, they might be sitting here going like, this is not true for me. Or how on earth can I ever do that? When you are in this how can I do that space, then I can certainly help you with that. I'd love for you to reach out to me. I'd love to hold space for you and sit with you. This exact journey, that's what we address at our Loving Life After Loss retreats. I invite you, encourage you to talk to me about it, to come along, to consider spoiling yourself and changing your life, choosing what you want in life. What is the story you tell yourself? There was a time in my life where I told myself that grief will stay with me forever, that my life won't ever be the same. And that last sentence, my life won't ever be the same, was absolutely true. Yet it's so dependent what I made of it, whether I took that into a positive direction or whether I would allow myself to stay stuck in victimhood, in pain, in grief. There was a time in my life where I knew that I didn't want to stay stuck there. There was a time in my life where I knew that I wanted to live life to the fullest, where I wanted to actively invite happiness back in, where I made decisions to change my story, big decisions. I moved to Australia, I moved to the other side of the world to follow happiness because my heart was calling me. My heart was calling me to live on the other side of Australia. I had no idea why, but it was such a strong calling, I eventually followed it. And then eventually, very shortly after, 10 months later, I met my husband. And I felt this was all so meant to be. This was all part of my story. Yet we always have choice. We have a choice in this story. We have a choice in how we write this story every single day. I write in my book, I've gone back to this practice, and I love journaling every single day into my book about who I want to be, how I want my story to unfold, what an impact I want to be making in other people's lives who still think that grief is the end of the road. I don't believe in that. Grief has got so much opportunity. Grief brings hidden gifts. Grief is such an incredible process of change. And here comes that story in again. What is the story that you tell yourself around grief? What is the story that you tell yourself about your life? I'd be so honored to help you rewrite your story into something beautiful and hopeful and happy and joyful. Practice self-love. Go out in nature, spend as much time as you can in nature, hug a tree, walk barefoot on the sand, in the grass, whatever you can. Love yourself. Tell yourself, I love myself. Practice that every single day. That's exactly what is shared in the book that I'm going to share in the comments below with you. This is my shout out to you. If you're watching this right now, reach out to me and allow me to help you rewrite your story into something beautiful and amazing and something that you truly love. So when your person, your support person asks you, how has life been treating you? Your answer can be something like miraculously, beautifully, just full of love. And that's exactly what I want for you. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours right now. This is Marie. Bye for now.